make you paralyzed.
Hello, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Johnny Games. I have a very special video for you today. We're going to do a review and an in-depth look at this, my newest handheld, Trimui Brick Hammer. Now I have to say right off the bat, this Trimui Brick Hammer is something special. The build quality is something that's a lot higher than I was expecting. The screen quality. So spoiler alert, if you don't want to watch through the entire video, this is a pretty incredible handheld. Now I did purchase this one from Lit NXT, and I decided to just get it as a plug-and-play experience. So I went ahead and purchased one of their larger 256 gigabyte preloaded cross-mix mini SD cards, and then got it express shipped to me. It took just I want to say a little over 2 weeks to arrive, so very fast. I did have to pay extra for the express shipping, but I was okay with that. What was really awesome though is that they included a free case. I wasn't even expecting that. I only purchased this and the memory card, but I got a carrying case for this as well. So I thought that that was really incredible. And so far, I mean, the buying experience was really good overall. Now, I watch a lot of other videos on handhelds and from other creators like TechDweeb and Russ from Metro Game Core, and I hear about Lit NXT a lot from them, so I decided to give it a try because I had never purchased anything from them previously. I just gone straight to the companies themselves. So this is my first handheld being purchased through Lit NXT, and my first pre-set up handheld where everything's done for you. So this has the CrossMix operating system on it and a really great set of ROMs. So let's dive in and see what this brick hammer has to offer. Now, one of the advantages with the brick hammer is that it is available for purchase off of Amazon. You get that super fast delivery and their great return policy. It is a little bit higher than some other places where you can purchase it, but maybe purchasing it from Amazon is worth it to you, so you'll have to decide that yourself. But you're getting that CNC aluminum body with a 3.2 inch fully laminated IPS display at 1024 by 768 pixels. The CPU is the all-winner A133P clocked at 1.8 gigahertz. It has 1 gigabyte of RAM, 8 gigabytes of internal storage, a 3000 milliamp battery. It supports mini SD cards up to 1 terabyte. It has built-in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. It has USB-C charging and a USB-C port for connecting another controller. You get RGB ambient lighting. It has a built-in vibration motor, and it has 2 customizable function keys. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at the Trimui Brick Hammer and its physical features. Down below here we have the start button. In the middle we have a select button, and then our menu button is to the far left side. 2 front-facing speakers, which sounds surprisingly good for how small the handheld is. We have nice clicky but not too loud of buttons. A little bit of a clicky D-pad, but it feels very good, very responsive. These are 2 programmable illuminated buttons. Right now they toggle this from being a D-pad and then being a joystick, since we don't have one. Down on the bottom we have our 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. We have our USB-C charge port, factory reset button, and then our mini SD card slot. On this side we have our power button here. It wants to focus. power button, and then a performance toggle switch. It doesn't really do much, so I just leave it on. We have our volume rockers. Here, volume up and down. And then on the back here, we have our illuminated shoulder trigger buttons. Which are a little clicky, but again, not the worst. I forgive it for the clicky shoulder buttons because overall, the build quality is just impeccable. I mean, the seams are so tight on it. It's just built so well. And then you have nice engravings on the side. Trimui just did such an excellent job on the build quality. For $109, and you can get this all day for $109 off of Amazon. With your Prime 2-day shipping, totally worth it. You're gonna have to put all your games on it yourself, but for $109, great handheld. Okay, so now let's take a quick tour through the CrossMix operating system and this memory card that I purchased. So you're first greeted with this home landing page, and there's actually some really nice background music playing. Listen. Okay. I mean, honestly, the speakers are pretty good for this little guy. Okay. So you're able to go into all these different pre-made collections, which are all amazing. I've spent a lot of time in all of these, but up top here, you have your favorites, the recent games that you've been playing. You can just jump right back into them. And with this operating system, you're going to jump right into the game right where you left off. So it's pretty awesome. It works really well. Okay. Over here, you can just access the entire library, and it's divided into the game systems. And this has like everything. Like this has ColecoVision. I grew up with a ColecoVision. This was a family video game system we had in the 80s, and I would play games like Zaxxon and other things, Qbert, other games like that. So pretty incredible that it had that on it. I wasn't expecting it. Has, of course, all of your Nintendo systems on here, NES. It actually also has some really good PC ports too on here. A couple that I was really surprised to see on here. Down here there's Celeste. Oh yeah, and then Balatro. So I was really, and then Axiom Verge. Yeah, Axiom Verge. There's Celeste. Yeah, here's Celeste. So a lot of PC or PS1 stuff. There's a fair amount of PSP. But as you can see in some of the footage, the PSP doesn't play very good. I really wouldn't get this for PSP games. Some of the Dreamcast plays okay. We only had just a few games. But yeah, very complete. Now after that, you can come here. You have other apps. We have Moonlight preloaded here. If you want to stream from your computer. If you want to jump straight into Portmaster or any of the other apps that this is using. Okay. And then you can keep going here for net play. And then we have our settings. This is where you can, adjust your screen brightness, volume, hotspot, Bluetooth, all that good stuff. But all in all, it's a very easy system to navigate. It's a great setup for someone who's never owned one of these. If I bought this without any prior experience and this was my first experience with the retro handheld, I mean, this is great. This is a great experience. I would have been okay with just this and not gotten any other handhelds. Of course, I have other handhelds and I'm going to continue to buy more, but I mean, this thing is fantastic and it is really set up well. Now it's time to show you what the Brick Hammer is actually capable of. I'm gonna just shut up and let the games do all of the talking. Okay, so now I want to just go over a few things that I don't like, and then I want to touch on a couple of the things that I really, really like. One of the things that I don't really like is the inline shoulder buttons. They're not my favorite, but then again, I don't know how stacked shoulder buttons would work on a vertical handheld, so I just kind of live with it, and I've gotten used to it. The other thing that I'm not the biggest fan of is the fact that the colors of these LEDs, all of the LEDs on the handheld, you can't just choose the color yourself. They only change, the color changes based on, you know, the game that you're gonna play. And so the handheld chooses the color for you. I would kind of like to be able to choose the color myself. Not a big deal, definitely not a deal breaker. One of the other things is it was a little confusing in the beginning to have the start, select, and menu button in a row down here at the bottom. Again, it's not a deal breaker because I did get used to it, but I did find myself hitting the wrong button a few times in the first week of use. Now, some of the things that I love about the handheld, overall, I love the controls. The controls have a slight clickiness to them, but they're not loud. It's not a loud clicky, but it's got a tactile feel that I really enjoy, and it's really quite satisfying. The other thing that I think is great is this screen. It's a high resolution, game scale very, very well to it. It's a 4:3 aspect ratio, which in my opinion is the right aspect ratio for this handheld, since most of the games that you're going to play on it, because of its small form factor, are your older retro games. And so they really equipped it with enough power and a great screen to enjoy all of your retro games. The other thing that I love is the construction. This metal construction, it took me by surprise, I'll be honest. It feels very, very premium. It feels like it came from a company like Apple or a high-end Samsung product. It just has a very, very good fit and finish, great build quality. And it feels like, yeah, if you threw it at someone, it's really gonna knock them out. Like they're gonna get hit with a brick. But that also makes it feel very high quality. Now, because of the steel construction, the whole handheld does tend to get a little bit warm during prolonged use, but it doesn't get warm enough to actually bother me. And overall, this has quickly become one of my most favorite handhelds that I own. Okay, so let's go ahead and sum up everything that we've talked about up to this point. First, let's talk about the handheld itself. Its construction quality is second to none. It has a construction quality that's so high that it's one of the best built handhelds, period. Not just a handheld around the $100 price point. Now, if $100 is still a little too steep for you, you can also just get the Trimui Brick, the plastic version of this. You still get all the great internals, the great screen, the controls. I have heard that the plastic version, the controls are louder, and then the speakers on the plastic version definitely don't sound as good as this. There's a lot of comparison videos out there that show you that. But if you're looking for something that's just built like a tank, but at the same time, that heavy build quality also makes it feel incredibly well put together, incredibly well engineered, and overall kind of expensive. I would have thought that this is a lot more expensive than $100. This could easily pass for a product, like I said earlier, from Apple or Samsung or a company like that. So overall, I think they've done a great job. Great screen, great controls, great build quality. Not very many negatives. One of the only negatives that I've found is that laying down in bed on your back, playing it this way, you have to use your pinky fingers to hold up the handheld. After a little while, that is going to get tiring. It got tiring for me. That was about the only position that I found that I wasn't comfortable playing this in. Now let's talk about the cross-mix memory card that I got. Now you're going to have to choose whether or not buying a memory card with preloaded ROMs on it is okay to you or not. That's a personal decision. I wanted to get one and see what it would be like being a customer. What would they get? What would the buying experience be like? So overall, I would give Lit NXT an A+ rating. They got my order out right away. I got my confirmation emails right away. I got my tracking numbers right away, and everything was packaged nice. And then they threw in this, a free carrying case that I wasn't even expecting. So overall, the buying experience was incredible. The CrossMix software is super well put together, easy to use, and then the ROM sets that they put on here, as far as I can tell, I haven't found any ROM that isn't labeled correctly and isn't an English version, so everything's great, and I couldn't recommend it more. So overall, the Trimui Brick Hammer gets my highest recommendations. Now there are other recommended handhelds in the price point. There's the Mini Long Pocket 1, you have the Trimui Smart Pro S, which is also hanging around that same price point. So there's other ones, but if you're looking for something with this small form factor, you know, I just don't think that you can beat the Trimui Brick Hammer for its quality and construction, for what it offers. It has quite a bit of power under the hood to play up to Dreamcast and PSP, which to me is pretty incredible. So overall, I'm impressed. I'm very, very impressed with the Trimui Brick Hammer, and I'll be playing this a lot more in the future. Now everyone, I'm on the road to try to hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. If you would like to help me achieve that goal, please hit that like and subscribe button down below. Hit the thumbs up so that you're notified about any of the upcoming videos and future releases that I have on the way. I have more handhelds that I'm going to be reviewing, more in the mail, so make sure that you hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss any of my future content. Thank you so much for joining us again. I'm Johnny Games. Everyone, please be nice to everyone in your life, and game on.